Hi there. This is going to be a video which will be part of maybe like an irregular series that we might call, say, the Redemption series. The idea being, I recently got back to my house in the UK, so I was able to get some of my games out of the attic there, bring them here to me in Italy, and I have lots of games that are maybe pretty crap because I would buy stuff cheap on eBay just because I like to buy games, and lots of games, I guess. Rather than wait for one good one, I would buy 3 or 4 often crappy ones, but very often not as bad as you might think. So but this one, so the idea here is that we're going to say, okay, this game is gets bad press, what little press it has, so it's not conclusive. Maybe it can be redeemed. Is there a game somebody might enjoy here, or should we just not bother with it at all? Battle Group Commander, the game of elimination, for 8+ years, so 2 players plus. Already 8+ years, that tells you something. It's going to be pretty simplistic, isn't it? So it comes with an insert, which I broke down so I could stick a book in here at the same time as it was transported. And you get a spinner, so it's already looking pretty bad. But let's just see if there is a game here. I mean, there are other things that I got which are great. Things like, well, there's the game of Duel Masters, which is a trading card game which became defunct in the West, but it's still massively popular in Japan, and is an excellent. I brought it over because my son, who's 7, this summer we played over 100 games of Pokemon. We bought some Pokemon cards for him before the summer, but he never really got into them. You just look at the pictures, but then he started learning how to read. And so he could read what's on the cards and really sort of engage a lot more with it in that fashion. So over this summer we played over 100 games of Pokemon. It's been fantastic, and so I brought back some others of my games in the hope of being able to play more with him in his and my spare time. So it's got to be a decent game for adults, and it's great if it's good for kids too. So Pokemon I class in that category. Yu-Gi-Oh, which we also got into since I brought my set over, is fine. I got Magic. We haven't got into that. Magic the Gathering. Those are trading card games. Duel Masters I think is the best of all 3 because it's even simpler than Pokemon. But because of the way the cards are, anyway, we don't want to talk about that. We're talking about Battle Group Commander. But this is the sort of thing that what I'm doing. Are games redeemable? Quick flash for others. I got these Flagship, old GMT game. I got 2 boxes of it. Another card game. I like buying these sort of out there things, trying them out. Pirates of the Caribbean trading card game. That I know it's not going to be good because there's only sort of basic deck in there. For a trading card game, you do need to have some deck building, so you need spares and make decisions on how you're building your deck. You can generally introduce the rules with a basic deck and a few games, and then you want some more. So anyway, this Battle Group Commander. What do we have? We've got this fold-out board. It's got a spinner on it. It has H and 3. I think it's supposed to go that way around. It says Battle Group Commander facing that way and that way. So nice small setup. Can you see that where you are there? I think what I'll do is move the board up to the middle. Interestingly enough, there's a die here as well. So we've got a spinner. So it has this H and this, is that epsilon or something? Is that Greek? Or is that an E, upside down M? I'm not sure. You have 2 whiteboard markers. Interesting. You have some cards, Battle Group Commander, the game of elimination with launchers, a range number at the bottom there and another characteristic, medic, range 4 and a dash and a 6, radio man, so there's 2 of each, so what I'm suggesting is there's 1 of each side, 2 soldiers, 2 tanks, 2 generals, 2 helicopters and 2 snipers. Then you get the game instructions, nicely short and sweet, and then obviously where you write, so laminated game pages, your troops and their troops. That's interesting. So I'm tracking my troops here, soldier, soldier, sniper, soldier, so company 1, 2 up to company 6 with various combinations of troops, ammunition and hit, so hit or not, my hardware, personnel, helicopter, tank, multi-launcher, ammunition, hit, and then I'm also tracking their troops. And then we have the ranges summarised here. So that's the same as is on here. So the sniper range 6, 8 to 10, and it says the same here at the bottom. So 2 each of those, 1 for each player, obviously. 1 pen for each player, a D6. I don't know if that was original. I might have added that in. I remember I tried to play this once before, and I think I gave up in despair, but I'm more game for it now. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chits. They sort of vaguely look like infrared pictures that you can imagine from an infrared camera. So you got, that was a machine gun. Here's some buildings. There's some craters. Some tire tracks, some more buildings and a bunker. Okay, that's interesting. And then you get 6 meeples each, and each has a different colour on the bottom. So there's 6 red, 1 has black, 1 has green, sorry, 1 black, 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 yellow and 1 white on the bottom. That's the same for both of them, and then that, we would guess, corresponds to blue for the different companies. So each one of those represents one of the 6 companies. Okay. And then the aim of the game, I'm not going to read all this through, I'm just showing you what's what, and then I'll read the rules and demonstrate a game. And on the map, you might be wondering, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's probably the companies blue and yellow rather than red and yellow, but anyway. And then H and Q, is that headquarters? I don't know, but it's H and Q. Okay, the aim of the game is to cross the game board and land 1 playing piece into either the H or the Q on your opponent's side of the board, or destroy his entire army. So I'll break here, get the board ready, and you can see the setup. Okay, if we can accept this game's premise, I already like it. I haven't played it, but essentially the spinner is to determine hits or misses. So on the HH, your opponent takes a hit on a so they will be hit and destroyed. On a cross, it's injured, so not quite damaged. What does that do? It's not, so there's hit but not caused a fatality, and you need a medic, and each side has 2 medics to cure that, and M is a miss. So that's just a handy D6, or D8 in fact, with a 6 out of 8 chances of getting some positive result. The die, as it won't be a killer for most people, is rolling for movement. And then the range is the range in which someone can hit. So, for example, a soldier can hit anything within range 6 to 8. So it's like a war-themed abstraction. Sniper can hit range to 10, medic range to 4 to 6. So that sort of gives you your strength. It's funny that they can't shoot at something right next to them, but the better ones can shoot at things further away. So it's not a war game, it's like a war-themed abstraction, but I think I'm already quite liking it. So you have your 6 companies are already delineated for you, and then you decide on which of the 6 positions you set them up. So, for example, for this side, I've chosen company 1, which is soldier, soldier, sniper there, and then company 2 is soldier, soldier, sniper there. So they've got their sort of infantry up front, the snipers up front. Then back here, they've got sniper, radio man, medic, and the tank. So the medic can sort of help them. The radio man is going to radio in hits for the launcher here, and the tank is obviously for a striking force. Then over here on the side is soldier, soldier, and general. So that's kind of soldier reinforcements. The general piece. The general piece is that if you have 2 generals, if the other general is here, so black and white, you can't really see the bases, but I can. Are generals. If both you lose a turn if one general's gone. If both generals go, all movement is reduced by half, rounding up. Then here you have soldier, radio man, and medic. So there's, except for with the tank, there's at least 1 soldier with everyone. The medics are just for healing the hits. And here you also have your launcher. Now the launcher can shoot over you. Normally you need line of sight, so you can't shoot through something. But a radio man has line of sight, and you have 2 radio men, then the launcher can fire from there. And the launcher can fire it to 14 hexes, between 12 and 14. So you sort of want them back. Now, and then on the other side, I configured it differently, just for variation. So we got general here and general here. We got soldier, soldier, sniper here. Soldier, soldier, sniper here. Then we've got the tank here, the launcher here, and the helicopter here in the middle. So that's going to be the helicopter again can fire over obstacles, other units. And then there's an option, 2 optional rules. One is that you use these little chits, and they actually represent obstacles so this is a pillbox. You can't fire over it. Unless you pop up helicopter, and helicopters can fire twice a turn. And if you get in it, you get a strong defensive benefit. There's a machine gun nest, you get some defense there, and that's just purely a rock. There's 3 others. There's a farm, jungle, and a village, which give others, but I decided not to complicate it too much. And then these cards you'll use that when a company is hit, so each of these represents a whole company, you pick up the cards for the units in it. So for example, this is soldier, soldier, sniper, so you pick up 2 soldiers, a sniper, you shuffle them around, you offer them to your opponent, and your opponent picks one, and that's the actual part that got hit. So in that case, either a soldier or a sniper. Unless your sniper is firing, in that case, they can choose their absolute target. So that is basically it. Let's get into it. So we're going to have red going first, and they simply roll the die, move anyone, and then anyone can fire once. Doesn't have to be the one that moved. And it's pretty much going to be that simple. I've already got a question about the hits and the medics, so we'll see if I can figure that out as we get into it. So 5. So one of them, you can go diagonally. So the first thing we say, we want to get these into action. We'd like to get them there quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay, they're just going to go straight forward to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoever gets in that bunker first is going to have a powerful advantage. And then someone can fire. Now, sniper's blocked. We've got the launcher there. That can fire it to 14 hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I say hexes, don't I? Squares. 14. So he's out. maybe this can fire on there. No. And okay, now everyone else is too far away. So over to the yellows. 4. And they will get their tank moving up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're protected from each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There. And green has sniper, radio man, and medic. Medic only has a range of 6 maximum. Sniper 8 to 10. And radio man 4 to 6. So that's a no go. Okay. So back to reds. So that is how you play it. So I'll play it a little bit and then come back and show you some firing or something like that. Okay, so I had a slight misapprehension. Is you don't actually get in the pillbox or these are actually physical obstacles you have to move around. In the villages and the farm and jungle you can go into them and gain some benefits there, but these effectively they can be fired through, but they will block this and this will block some damage. This blocks everything. So I've just taken the second red move. In fact, he rolled a 6, but I just moved him 5 up to there to take advantage of that cover. Now this fellow can fire. It's 7 hexes to there, which is within a soldier range. So what we do is we spin the spinner, and I get injured, but on a 4, 5 or 6 the pillbox blocks it, so that blocks it. Okay, then we go to the yellows. I roll a 1, so we want to get the tank into action. That's going up, and then so the only difference in the armaments is the range. So the tank has a range of 8 to 10, and there's also yes, and there's medic, sniper, and radio man in there. So here, there's a sniper here, and the sniper has a range of 8 to 10, so he's too close. So the infantry fellow, no, that's a soldier, sniper, and general. Yeah, no, that's okay. So the soldier in there can fire over to here, and I'll roll this. So whatever it was blocked by the bunker anyway. Okay, so we go back to reds 2. So the sniper has range 8 to 10, so what he's actually going to do is move back 1, then his sniper's in range. This could still block, which it's blocked, so I don't even need to spin that. Okay, over to yellows. I'm a bit wishing I hadn't put those here now, because I think it might actually mean we need more manoeuvre, don't we? 5, so let's bring up, what's this? This is soldier, soldier, sniper. That was the tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can the tank for at 7, 8 range? So we'll move him there instead. So that's 8 range. The tank's straight line of fire. Oh, and I've been forgetting. I had to mark off. Okay, we got a hit, but anyway, I have to mark off ammunition. That's a very big point, isn't it? So I think he's fired twice. So one of the soldiers in company 2. Okay, I'm not going to use both of these because I'm playing solo. I can just use one for them both. So that's actually the yellows, not the red fellows, but it's their side of the board. This soldier fired once, and then their tank just fired once. Okay, and these pens still work, and they wipe off, which is great, because it's been, I think this was produced in 86, was it, or 96, but it had never been used. I don't think before I got it. Maybe it had. But anyway, the pens are still going. Okay, so we got a hit. So it's with the tank, so we don't know what it is directly. So it's soldier, soldier, sniper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's the first soldier, so he is hit. And if we were the enemy, we would mark that on our one, say, okay, I've knocked out. So we know that we've knocked out a soldier in that company. Okay, so back to the reds. 1. I'm just doing that, I'm not thinking. And yellows 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we're going to bring up, this is the launcher. That's range 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 5. Okay. Maybe a bit risky. I'm moving back a bit. So the launcher can launch over there if there's, you can see over that, if there's a radio man, and there is a radio man with the tank company 4 here. So the launcher fires over and we get an injury. So the player's hit the target but has not caused a fatality. Oh, and I forgot to fire for reds just back then. Okay, so that was a hit. So we would have a hit on soldier, sniper, general, soldier, sniper. Where's my general card? I must have left it back here. There's 2 of each, aren't there? There's one of them. Okay. So soldier, sniper, general. And it's the general who's been hit, so the yellow actually had to miss a turn, so I'll make them miss their next turn. What am I doing? I've lost track. Okay, so it was that. So yellow's general has been hit, he's out. Okay, I can get rid of that. So as not to confuse me. Okay, so I played a few more turns and I suddenly had a turn I was like, oh, I hate this, it's stupid. I was thinking, oh, I'll not randomise the movement, and it's difficult because there's 3 different, maybe 4 units if you have hardware, tank, helicopter, multi-launcher in there, and they each have a different range, and so it needed sort of quite a lot of analysis needed each move, but then you can kind of boil it down, and I just, on here, I marked the ranges next to the companies to help me, and essentially the sniper and the tank have the same range, 8 to 10. The radio man and the medic have the same 4 to 6, the general has 2 to 4, and then after 8 to 10, the helicopter goes 10 to 12, and the multi-launcher goes 12 to 14. So everyone has a range of 3 bits going from the general, 2, 3, 4, medic and radio man, 4, 5, 6, soldier, 6, 7, 8, sniper, 8, 9, 10, and tank, 8, 9, 10. So the tank and the sniper are essentially equal. Except a tank has 2 hits. That's the only unit that can take 2 hits. And so I found out what to do with the injury is that essentially when you have a fatality, I just cross them straight off. When they're injured, I circle the hit, so they're out of action. But if a medic gets next to that and then rolls a 3+, then that unit is back in action. So if you take it for what it is, I think it's, and you get your head around this range thing, because that's the hardest bit about it. And if I was playing opposed, it would be a lot more fun. It's a bit tricky having to think out think 2 sides. It's a lot more fun to think out yours and then watch your opponent, think out yours, watch your opponent, rather than burning your brain on both of them. But having said that, I'm going to soldier on and play to the end of one game at least. So going for the yellows, I'll just show you a few more turns maybe. So they get a 1. So the situation we have is the helicopter is he's not in range, so I should have moved him in range. Okay, so let's say he's there. He's in range, so helicopter can fire 2 more shots off at there, but he's burning up his shots through there. Although he has knocked out 2 out of the 3 units there, and he actually gets 2 shots go through the bunker, and 1 is a hit. That is enough. So that soldier is a goner. So that company is off the board, and you can see it's definitely one of those games where as it progresses it gets faster. And what we're doing is the reds are going to try for a run for the end here, and the yellows are going to try for the knock out their opponent completely. So we go over to the reds, they get a 2, he's making that end run, but he obviously needs some support. 2 to 8, okay. That one's a bit far away. Let's see if we can get the helicopter into action. 1, 2. Okay, so he can still go for a hit on him with one of his soldiers. And he gets a injury. So in the blue there we've got a soldier and a sniper left, so that will be the sniper is out of action momentarily. I haven't yet used a medic. So the yellows go into action. They really wanted their tank to come around, so 1, 2, 3. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the tank can come into action there. So the tank's firing on this company, or maybe he should fire on. Yes, we'll have the blue soldier left there. Fire on him. And we have an injury there. So on the blue company, that's the sniper out of action. Okay, and we go over to the reds. I'll come back again later if something exciting happens. So I'm beginning to sort of look at maybe the tactics. You're going to have to send up some companies as kind of doing the firing and taking the fire while others move into the action. So obviously reds have lost 1 whole company. Blues, they've just got an injured sniper here, so he's out of action. We could get a medic from here, move up adjacent to him, and in fact yellow have just rolled a 2, so we'll do that. So, and the medic, so that sniper's back into action, which means then he can fire onto him. And he's got an injury as a result, and they've got, so that's on the soldier. So there they've got a soldier and a sniper down and injured, and 1 soldier still in action. Okay, I'm done with this now. I'm calling it over. 2 companies each side have been completely knocked out. This company, they're all injured, so they're inactive. We got the tank moving up on here, and a full company, soldier general, getting to meet them there. The helicopter here has fired all its ammunition, but it's under cover of its other 3 units. It's trying to sneak down there, while they're in the tank there, so it's going on both flanks. These have got helicopters still with ammunition firing down the middle here. They've got a full company not fired at all, hiding behind here waiting for this, and then they've got mostly unfired multi-launcher here, so that can sort of fire this way if either these flanks get moved past. So the reds were a bit unfortunate. They're getting lots of 1 rolls back there. It was a bit crucial, so leaving forward companies here out in the open without support. But I'm calling it because I think I've gone as far as deep into this game as one can go, and it's okay. And I might enjoy playing it with someone, but it's the pros. It's like I quite like the spinner and then the die for movement. The spinner's good because you miss on a 2 out of 8 times, so generally you're going to hit, but then there's those occasional misses that are really like, oh no. And I don't mind the random movement. I just played Talisman yesterday for the first time ever with my son. He loved it, and I loved it back in the day. I quickly grew tired of it because of the random movement, but for just for a few games and at least to start with, it's kind of part of the fun of it, that you never know what's going to happen. And I like the simplicity of it. So it's 5 minutes to learn the game and probably be able to play the game in an hour. Except that it does bog down in having to have these cards. So every time you hit, you're going to hit most turns, and it's back and forward. So roll, move, shoot, hit. My opponent selects 3 cards, presents them. I select one, mark off ammunition, mark off hit. That's a bit fiddly, and really for something this sort of light, you want less fiddliness. And so but then the interest in this is that each company has 3 or 4 units in it, and then the ammunition creates some decisions. Like some companies have more ammunition, a helicopter runs out quickly, but you want to use it because it gets in 2 shots. So those things are what give it interest and spice. But then they are also the weaknesses, in that then you've got this record keeping, the fiddling with the cards, which is all downtime on what is where the real action is. So and it's not deep, so I've gone as deep as I can, and I don't think the strategies are going to be that deep, because you're restricted by the fact that you're rolling a die and you can only move one unit at a time. If instead it was more chess-like, in that you knew how far a unit moved, and you can think ahead and plan ahead, and so then you're kind of mastering your plan. But here you have to go with just making the best of what you've got each time, and kind of congregating forces where you need them and hoping for the best. And that coupled with the strange range thing, so you only be able to hit within a certain range. And I kind of like it, because it's kind of like, tanks can shoot a long way, so they'll stay a long way off. They're not going to rush in for close combat when they can punch from a long distance. So it kind of makes sense thematically. And again, infantry, they're going to tend to want to shoot between this range away. They don't really want anyone getting close to that. If anyone is getting close to that, perhaps then they're going hitting the dust and so forth. And so not. You could kind of it kind of makes kind of a thematic sense. But it's and it's also the strength. It's what makes this different. But then trying to work that out, because each unit is different. So this company could have a potential range. It could fire between 4 and 14 hexes, but then once the launcher's knocked out, it can fire between 4 and 8 hexes. If the medic's knocked out, it's firing between 6 and 14 hexes, and so forth. So each time someone's knocked out, you have to recalibrate your thoughts and rethink what that piece represents. And that's frankly just a bit of a drag. So in sum, I think it's a nice idea. It's got some sort of cute ideas in there, but it's not developed enough to pare it down to an exciting, tense game. It's kind of like someone had some quick, cute ideas, and they brought them together, and they all kind of make sense, and you can see where they're going with it, but it creates a bit of a laborious experience. So in some, not really redeemable, but I would play it against somebody if they wished me to. But they would, I think, would have to both be in kind of quite a forgiving frame of mind and not really caring. Maybe, you know, we're having a chat over, not taking it seriously. And then it would be okay as a change from everything else. But no more than that. So there you go, Battle Group Commander. I better go wipe that off. Yeah, just as a final aside, is that I wasn't using the cards. In fact, I was just rolling a die, so I didn't have to go through the bother of selecting the cards and so forth. And still, you know, having to roll a die, it just didn't give enough back for what that physical fiddliness that it required.